So what is up guys, and today I'm going to go over a competitive DropSpot guide for Misty Meadows. I saw this on the YouTube. I saw a great video, I'm going to link it down below, of a breakdown on Caddy Corner. So I want to do the same but for Misty Meadows.
Okay, so Misty Meadows actually has one of the most chests for a POI in the game. It has 26. Now if you split this directly in the middle between this side and this side, which you should, since these two sides are quite isolated. So when you do that, it's 11 chests versus 15 chests. So to anyone that has really landed at Misty Meadows, they know that this side is much better than this side. I'm going to go over some reasons why, since you might disagree. Now, noms first off. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 nom spawns on this side, and guess what? There's 0 on this side. And noms obviously give you health, with bananas, coconuts, cabbages. They give you shield with mushrooms. But most importantly, I'm going to write this down, they give you peppers. Peppers are so good. Now, if you saw my video on the EU FNCS recap, you will know that there was a team that came in at top 5. They got high ground by using peppers. They got high ground maybe 3 games out of the 6 by just using peppers, going front of zone, all that. So, with this current meta where there's no balances, there's no shock waves, there's no rifts, peppers are literally the way. Now, next, freezes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 versus again 0 freezes are on this side. Now, freezes obviously either give you floppers, small fries, or slurpfish. All of those you can take in 1 second. That when you're fighting early game, right? Fridges are basically the only way to get fish. Since you're not just going to go this, right? And just go out to sea without letting. Fishing usually comes mid-game. You never really have fish early game unless you open a fridge. So let's say you get tagged for 180 or something. Your teammates can back you up and you can run away, right? Then you can hide in a box and quickly pop it and go back into the fight. That is why fish are so good. Next, mechanical parts. Mechanical parts, you have the guaranteed mechanical parts. Let's cover those first. You've got 2 right here, and you've got 1 right here, versus the 1 on the side. So it is a 3v1. Obviously, you can get mechanical parts from cars as well. So let's count that. You've got 3 here, 1 here, 1 here. So you've got 5 on this side, and you've got 2 on this side. But if you do want to count this thing right here, it's a bit far away, but I guess I'll count it. It's 3. Sorry, guys. It's 3v5 versus cars. So, cars-wise, mechanical parts-wise, noms-wise, fridges-wise, this side, it wins. And I consider this side much greater than this side. So, something about Misty Meadows is that usually teams will split it like this, like I said before. And what is interesting is that they usually won't fight against each other. So, a reason for this is that obviously, like I said before, these two are separated by this long bridge right here. Now, this bridge is flat and is at a lower level compared to the roofs. So let's say this team right here wants to cross to this side. What usually happens is that there'll be kids like on the roof right here, or on the roof on this house or this house, just waiting for them to see if they make a move. And if they start crossing, right, they're just going to get pelted with bullets, and it's not going to be worth it in my opinion. There's going to be, as soon as they hit the reboot band, they're not going to be able to build, so they're going to probably have to try to avoid it, and it's going to be just bad for the team that's trying to rush. It's not going to be worth it. There's enough loot on your side to not, have to fight the other team. That's why, you don't see a lot of fights going on. And, a lot of people say, why don't you go, like, under the bridge? Now, this is, 90% of the time you're going to get seen when you do this. So, you obviously get significant low ground when you're down here. So you're just going to get pelted by bullets when you're down here. From here, and it's just not going to end well. Again, same vice versa as well. So this team is rushing the other team. And this side, you've got the clock tower as well, even more high ground. You're just going to get pelted. It's not worth it. It's just better to loot your side and dip. So that's what usually happens in these, FNCS final games. That's what usually happens. So the only time really with this team right here fights this team right here is when there is either 2 teams landing here, or when there's two teams landing here, so you're going for the third party. That's really the only time I really see that, unless you're standing right here and you knock someone, right? Then with a bow or something, then you might all rush and go kill them. Those are really only times. But what if you're landing over here, one team's landing over here, right? And you also landing at Misty. Instead of going all the way over here, you're like, nah, we're not scared, we're gonna land here with you. Now what you usually see is one team landing like right here, another team landing right here. Obviously you don't want to land like one guy here, one guy here, one guy here, because you're just gonna get split. You're gonna get rushed one by one, and then you're just gonna get picked off slowly. Now, this is all good and all, but what you want to try and do is, instead of, let's try to get this house, or let's try to get this house, you want to try and get this house right here. This is really the house that depends, in my opinion, who's going to win the fight. So, let's break this down. You have one guy here, but you can still send two guys, either here or here. It depends where the enemy is landing. So, if the enemy is landing this side, you're going to send, obviously, the guy that has the best drop right here, right? And the rest of the other two guys here. This still works. And you're just going to have this versus this. So you're going to have, obviously, the main point of this house, right, is you're going to have two freezes, and you're going to have angles like this. You're going to have these side angles on your opponent, while your teammates are going to have front angles. So you're going to basically pinch your opponent. And you've obviously got these two freezes, like I said before. Freezes / fish are very, very good early game, but so securing two freezes, well, it's not guaranteed, but it's like an 80% chance, in my opinion, you get two freezes, is massive. So securing this house is so important. Don't focus on getting this, don't focus on getting this, focus on getting this. Like I said before, you get these external angles on people, so you get two angles on your opponent. So let's say you land right here, right? You've obviously got the angle of this on your opponent, but you've also got the angle of this, which makes this, just go for this house. This house is so good. What you want to do when you land right here. Now, you should always, have someone on the clock tower or right here, just observing this side, just in case, if they cross the road or something, even if there is, only one team here, if they cross the road or something, you just pout down bullets at them, or you could go for a bow shot or something. Just keep an eye on this team right here. And obviously, if there's two teams landing right here, you want to keep an eye even more, and maybe even go in for a third party fight. Now, if you have zero intention of doing that, right, and instead you can go for this bunker chest right here. Now, this bunker chest is very, very weird, since there is usually a team that lands disco right here, and they will usually try to claim it. So maybe one guy lands here, and two guys land here, or something like that. When that happens, there's quite a distance from here to here, so you're obviously not going to get it in time. By the time you walk all the way over here, after you loot this, right, this guy's already dipping. So maybe you could say you want to send one guy here and have the rest of the two guys here. Now, this is not a very good idea as well, since you're obviously contesting here 1v1. It's already not the best thing, and there's still two guys up here. And now these two guys, obviously what can happen is that they could have a 2v1 in their favor, so you're the one, and you've got two over here, but you can still have this one guy up here just pelting bullets down at these guys right here as well, and these guys down here if they try to come in and intervene. Meaning, this bunker chest is really hard to get if there is a team here. So maybe, when you're coming in to land Misty, and there is no team right here, you want to send maybe a guy to land here. Then say, as soon as you loot this place right here, come back to us so that we are safe and all that. So finally, before we start moving on to mid game and all of that, how do you loot this place if you are uncontested? So first you want to send a guy just to loot this whole left side, easy like that. Then you want to send another guy just to loot this place as well, and you want to send finally the last guy just to grab all this like that. That's how you want to loot it. Now let's go on to mid game. So what should you do after you loot all of this? You are not utilizing Misty to its full potential if you are not fishing. It is one of the biggest points of Misty. So So obviously you can get fishing poles here, you can get fishing poles here, you can get fishing poles here, you can get fishing poles here. Then how many fishing spots are there? Let's count. 19, 20, 21. Okay, if I counted correctly, there's around 21 fishing spots. Obviously they're not all going to spawn every game, but that's a crazy amount. 21. Now you want to fish as much as you can. Now if the zone comes in and all that, that's unfortunate. You're not going to be able to get all 21 every single game. But try to, please. All three of you start fishing, I don't know, but try to do it. And obviously you can rotate if zone is, so let's say the zone is like this, if it loads, sorry. Okay, that didn't zoom out at all. Okay, let's say the zone is like this, right, up top, and you have to rotate like this. Let's say that, for now at least. What you can actually do, there's a couple of things you can actually do. So, a thing I forgot to mention before, it's a bit laggy, sorry, is that in Misty, right, there is an NPC. There is a Rift NPC right here. Now, this NPC doesn't get mentioned often, mainly because I don't think it's in 100% spawn. Now, another thing about Misty is that it has a crazy amount of saves. Like safes, right here. It actually has 9 on this side and 6 on this side, making it, altogether 15 saves. Now, saves, in my opinion, have a very, very, very low chance of spawning, so you really can't count on them. But if you do get a safe, and zone is really far, maybe you want to just grab a rift from this guy if he spawns. Then after he spawns, maybe if zone is up here, right, I'll join another zone like before. If zone is up here, what you can actually do if it is up here is that you can land. Okay, this is acting the hell up. If zone's like that, right? If a zone is like that, okay, finally. So if zone's like that, you can land right here. Obviously, zone isn't fully closed in yet. You're early to the game. You can set up and just tag people that are rotating all around the place. So yeah, that's a thing you can also do as well for rotates. Another rotate you can do is, right now around in Misty there are a bunch of boats, so you can utilize those boats. Misty already is pretty central, so you don't really have to worry about rotating that much, but there are a bunch of boats. So to be more exact, I'll get all the boat locations. I'm going to take all these up because they clog the screen up a bit. We don't need to talk about noms anymore. So anyway, we're going to get the boats. There is a boat spawn right here. Boats are guaranteed, I'm pretty sure, so that's all good. Get a boat right here. So what you can do is, if you want to go for more of like a dead side rotate, you can go... Jesus Christ, it's lagging. You can take the boat right here, right? And if zone, again, that's the same zone like that, right? You can go through here, go down the dam, go right this, and get the zone like here. End up on dead side of zone. Now you probably not, boat probably is gonna run out of fuel somewhere around here, but then you can just walk it up here, and get the zone. It's free dead side. You'll end up right here, which no one really is up here. So that's a good dead side rotate. Another rotate you could possibly do, right, is, again, I'm talking mostly left side rotates right now. So this arc right here. Obviously that's not going to be a zone, I'm just bad at drawing. Just take a car like this car right here, and what you can do is keep on driving, ignore the road right here, right, and just go down here, and you're going to run out of fuel somewhere around here, right, but then you just keep on rowing, or maybe pick up another car at Slurpee and just go dead side like that. Again, there's a bunch of dead side rotates you can do. When it comes to the other side, this is just a very annoying rotate. What I usually do is, if zone's like, this zone is just really tough. You'll get a car, you can obviously just go like that, follow the road, and go like that, right? Catch a couple cars on the way, maybe fill up a caddy car or something. Or you could do, what I usually do, right, is, you've also got the bouncy thing right here, so you could go all the way up here, hit the bouncy thing, then it only brings you about to here, right? It's kind of weak. So then you have to walk it all the way. Either way, this rotate is not favorable. So when you get zone up here, right, it is not the best. You want to either get zone on you or up here. It's really not favorable. Now, let's talk about when you get zone on yourself. Now, this is really, really good. So, let's say maybe zone but again, these zones are not very realistic, but we're going to have to deal with them. So, now, you obviously need surge and defense skin, so you can't just sit up right here on the tallest mountains, right? Because no one walks past these mountains, let's be real. What can you do? Now, a thing you can do is sit up right here. Or right here. These are the power spots in my opinion. This very good mountain, very good at looking out. You can look down on Misty, you can look down here, you can look down here, down here. That is a very good spot. Now another spot, like I said before, right here. Right here, obviously you got the bouncy thing. The NPC is a bit annoying, so you'll probably have to kill her first. You can look, all the way over here. This and this, like at the very top of the tower place. The heights of this place right here and this place right here are very similar, especially if you build on top of it. It is very similar. Maybe you want to build like 3 or 4 levels above it. I recommend that. That would be very good. Now, another thing, when you have this zone, what can you do? That's what I would do personally for search if you're going to do that.